from the Fox 5 studios, this is the RebZone Sports Show.
On the road again with the Rebels. UNLV football hungry to bring the cannon back to Las Vegas, but the Rebels fall flat in Reno on Friday night, falling to 0-8 this season. We'll break down their rivalry loss with Coach Arroyo, and we're catching up with the Chuck Wagon tonight. Charles Williams on pace to break UNLV's rushing record. I think he'll make some school history this Saturday when the Rebels travel to New Mexico. And the Runnin' Rebels basketball season is just 10 days away. Yup, we're still getting to know this new team and all their nicknames. We'll find out who Stretch is tonight and why these Texas transfers say it is Whataburger over In-N-Out all day.
Whataburger for sure. Whataburger. 10 toes, 10 hands down, Whataburger. If you're really from the South, you know that the burgers are the go-to, or a patty melt. A patty melt is either one, or you go to I'll go with double meat Whataburger, number 2.
Okay, now I'm hungry, right? Happy Halloween. Welcome to our RebZone Halloween set. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend 1,000 times better than last year's Halloween, right? Well, I'm bummed I didn't get dressed up this year, but I saw my friends wearing some pretty funny stuff last night. Busy week at UNLV. The Runnin' Rebels season is almost here, and UNLV football has just 4 games left. A tough rivalry loss for UNLV on Friday night, as the Rebels are still fighting for their first win of the season. Let's take a look back on Friday night's game in Reno. It's the battle for the Fremont Cannon. UNLV looking to paint it red, but UNR comes out fast and comes out with a fight. Carson Strong to Cole Turner with a diving catch in the end zone. UNR on top quick, 7-0. The Wolfpack would later kick a field goal and take a 10-0 lead as things get heated in the second quarter. Brennan Scott leaves to the sideline with a nasty, bloody forehead as UNLV's defense holds UNR to another field goal. Wolfpack on top 13-0. Later in the second, Strong with a dime to Romeo Dubs in the end zone. Wolfpack leading 20-0 at halftime. UNR opens up the second half with a big pick six. Tyson Williams intercepts Cam Friel and takes it to the house. UNR on top 27-0. Later in the third, Strong to Turner with a one-handed catch and dive into the end zone. Wolfpack up 3-4. Rebels finally respond. Friel finds a wide-open Kyle Williams in the end zone, and UNLV trails 34-7. But the Wolfpack answer right back. Strong to Torrey Horton, and UNR extends their lead 41-7. Later in the fourth, the Chuck Wagon rolling into that UNR student section, flexing on them. UNLV trails 41-14, and the Rebels are starting to find a late fourth quarter spark. Friel to Steve Jenkins, and the tension is heating up in Reno. Rebels trailing 41-20. The Wolfpack would later kick a field goal, but the game ends in a big pick six. Friel picked off by Dayon Henley, who takes it 50 yards the other way. UNLV falls in Reno 51-20.
Just fight and consistency. We got to learn how to be consistent, start fast. We can't allow the offense to come out and start before us, and more takeaways. So hone in on that and we should be successful.
Just going to practice, going in the film, starting off, trying to win that day, not worrying about who we play next or whatever, just going in the film tomorrow and watching film and 1-0 film and then 1-0 the next day and just keep stacking that and it's going to all put itself together.
Welcome, Coach Arroyo, to the RebZone. Happy Halloween. Coach, a tough fight on Friday night. The intensity was there, the emotion was there, but we haven't really seen a slow start from your guys this whole season. Why the slow start on Friday night?
Yeah, we unfortunately hadn't done that this season. I think, it could be a combination of things. We're not going to ever make excuses. But we've got to do a better job starting fast like we've been doing. We shot ourselves in the foot. We weren't consistent enough. We didn't play with the same physicality we normally play with. We got a lot of guys in different spots that are new, and inherently there's some things that can happen when you've got that going on. But we've got to do a better job of being consistent and going up there and going anywhere really, like we've been doing, and focusing on what we can do and how we got to do better. And I think this was a true testament in regards to what we preach here and focusing on ourselves and not getting carried away with what's going on. So our guys will be back ready to roll here and have been here even started last night.
Well, we saw Cam Friel just kind of out of rhythm on Friday night, too. I know he's composed and he's a really serious young man, but I saw a lot of frustration on his face on Friday night. What were you coaching Friel throughout the game on Friday?
Well, the same thing that we coach him through in every game is poise and how we've seen it. And there's times he's pressing. He pressed a couple times there. There was some stuff in his lap. There was some throws errant throws that he hadn't done as far as touch and pace of where to put the ball at certain times. And, again, that growth process as a freshman quarterback, there's a lot of things that go with it. But he may have been a little frustrated, but I commend him for how he kept popping back in there and getting back in. And we'll be back to work this week. He'll be back with the same MO and improved.
Well, I saw Doug Brumfield chomping at the bits on the sideline. He was dressed for the first time since Fresno State. How does Brumfield look to you in practice? Is he getting closer to 100%? Yeah,
that's still hard to tell. I don't see Doug at 100 yet. I haven't seen it at 100 yet. If we would, we'd probably have a chance to really get him out there running around. So this is another full week. Finally, maybe we get a chance to see him out there this week. That's 100%. I know he's working hard. I know we're diligent in regards to try to get him back there safe and sound, where he feels really comfortable. So time will tell here. This week will be another week for him to get back out there and see what kind of speed we can go with.
Coach, speaking of quarterbacks, I saw Tate Martel practicing with the receivers this week, kind of warming up with the receivers. Has he told you he wants to move to receiver, or what's going on there?
No, I mean, Tate, we've had the conversation since me and Tate first started initiation of trying to be on the football team. Is he wants to do something, anything he can do to win, to contribute. And having the experience in the system is really going to tell the test of time. So, we're banged up all over. We got linemen playing tight end. We got fifth string tight end guys that didn't really fit. We're down receivers as well. And anywhere we felt like, we could utilize anybody. And I asked him, hey, would you want to go out there and play some wide out if we get down that point? And so he was awesome with it. And we're to that point now in a lot of places. So he's got a great attitude with it.
Want to move to defense? Jacoby was saying he wanted to see more of a fight from his guys, more consistency. Hopefully we'll get Noel Williams back this week, but do you want to see more of a fight from your defense this week in New Mexico?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that we all do. I think they've shown that the fight there, and most of the season we've had has been some things that can be advantageous to us, given a chance to put ourselves in prime position. Obviously, that was a big matchup with that group who's been in that recruiting process and development process, their offense for 5 years now. So recruiting and development and having a matchup that we like and the depths and the injuries and the inexperience, I mean, that's all going to pile up on you. But to have success for something like that, you do have to be more consistent. You got to have some true fight. I like the fight and the goal line stand you're showing and 4 downs there. So it's in there. We just got to be more consistent with this young group.
Coach, I know Noel Williams is banged up, but how much is he a factor in the game, and how much is he when he's not out there?
Well, Noel's a big. I think we've seen that rear its head a couple times this season. Now where Noel's a big factor, and we're saying the factor in the game is a true freshman. A guy who's been in a COVID year and now is out there again, and so our depth is revealing itself in a lot of ways. And so when Noel's not out there, or some of our other guys on offense or whatever it may be aren't out there, you can see it. It rears its head pretty fast just because of the inexperience and the time. So, but we've got to be able to patchwork it up and make it work. So hopefully Noel's feeling a little better this week, and if not, then we've got to find the next man up.
All right, Coach. Coming up next, New Mexico on Saturday at 4 o'clock kickoff. The Rebels are finally playing a Saturday game. UNLV hits the road to take on a 3-5 New Mexico team. We'll break down the Lobos with Coach Arroyo coming up.
You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
The Rebels are back to playing on Saturday. UNLV will travel to New Mexico this week. The Lobos snapped a 5-game losing streak when they beat Wyoming 14-3 back on October 23rd. The Lobos will be coming off a bye this week. They were led by redshirt freshman quarterback Isaiah Chavez, who finished 10 of 11 for 112 yards and a touchdown against the Cowboys. Chavez stepped in for senior quarterback Terry Wilson, who's reportedly been dealing with an elbow injury on his left non-throwing arm. Coach, a Saturday game, finally, but does that give you more time for guys who are banged up like Gio and Noel to get better?
Yeah, that's hopefully a full week, which is going to be exciting to have another opportunity to see if we can get guys back on the field. Gio and Kaleo and Clayton and who else? Name the list goes on of guys who are back to full speed. So any opportunity to get a little more time for us is good.
Speaking of Gio, Coach, we saw him dressed in Reno. Does he look like he's making big strides to you?
Yeah, no, it's impressive to see how fast he's gotten back. We're obviously got to get comfortable with him doing everything we can do, everything he's available to do, and not try to limit or put him in a position where he can, hurt himself or anything like that. So we're trying to make sure he's full go before we actually cut him loose.
Does this week feel like more a traditional week practice-wise now that the game's on Saturday?
It does, except for there's the NCAA with the date here has a new stipulation on Tuesday. There'll be no practices for student athletes, so we bumped up. We moved our non-practice Monday to a non-practice Tuesday. So I'll get a little bit of a hiccup in what we got, but we adapt.
Okay, cool. Most importantly, Coach, number one question: are you dressing up tonight and going trick or treating? I'm
telling the staff if they got small kids to go home and take their kids trick or treating and then get back to work. So they can take the work home when they do, but it's really important for us to be around our children during something like this. So we're going to take the opportunity to get home and see our kids here in a little bit.
I did no trick-or-treating last night or tonight, so no fun, but all right, Coach, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
We are hanging with the Chuck Wagon. We're kind of always hanging with the Chuck Wagon. 6 years now at UNLV, and Chuck is just 44 yards away from breaking UNLV's rushing record. But he says stats are just stats. He's giving it his all for his brothers, trying to lead the Rebels to their first win of the season. Plus, we sneak in a little bit of Kamaya, his daughter. Her Halloween cuteness is coming up.
Gets fed. Magyar the lead block. Williams, touchdown, UNLV. UNLV just settled for a touchback. It begins its second possession. And Charles Williams has space. The Chuck Wagon can fly. Beats the last safety and Hunter Reynolds, and he's off to the races. One play, 75 yards, and a thrilling start in Las Vegas. Second and goal. Right back to Charles Williams. He gets the blocks. Cuts it up. Touchdown. UNLV back on top.
Ooh, the Chuck Wagon looking spooky in our Fox 5 studio. That is one cold man. Let's go, Chuck. He told me he's not too concerned about breaking UNLV's rushing record. He's only 44 yards away, and he could go off this Saturday in New Mexico. I think fans were waiting to see it happen this weekend in Reno, but the Wolfpack were all over him. Still able to find the end zone on Friday night and flex on him. I caught up with the Chuck Wagon earlier this week. We were just talking about the rivalry week, his family, and why he's happy he returned for his 6th season at UNLV.
I took from last year, being in a new system and all that. Coach Arroyo has really polished up, what I needed to work on, and I appreciate him for that. And then, the O-line, they got a whole lot better, and then the receivers are doing a lot more, and I appreciate the tight ends too. And then, with the QB situation, just, Cam, he's been doing a great job stepping in. So I could say, coming back wasn't a, regretful decision. I'm kind of happy with the decision I made.
5 close games this season. Coach was talking about how you guys don't flinch. You wake up the next day and you go straight back to work. Talk about that culture here on the football team.
Well, right now, you got a lot of people banged up and stuff like that, and just fighting through and pushing through during practice. And they're doing a great job of just being resilient, because you can easily just tap out and say, "Oh, I'm done for the day." And then you also got people that's just really trying to come back from injury, like Gio, and I'm happy to see that. So once he gets back moving, it'll just show our team, we have a lot of fight in us, and we're not going to quit no matter what the score is, no matter what the record is.
How much more important and special has this season been? How different has it been with a baby at home, a little girl looking up to you and watching you play?
Just seeing her on the big screen, that was just motivation right there, because a lot of bangs and bruises, and I'm usually telling myself, I'm doing this for Kamaya, and I want to make sure that she has an easier life, so I'll be pushing and striving for her.
I know everyone's talking about breaking the school record, and I know that's important to you, but is this team more important? You guys doing it together, your brothers, is that more important than stats?
Of course, because at the end of the day, if I break the record and we go on whatever, I'm going to be upset because I didn't do enough to help my team get a win, so they get that experience of success.
5 games left this season. How do you want to lock in, and how do you want to finish on top this year, Chuck?
You know, just 5 more games left of my life. I want to just go out there, compete, enjoy it, and have fun with my boys and finish off strong.
We'll see if the Chuck Wagon can make school history on Saturday. I have confidence in him. Hey, who is this cutie? Chuck, Mika, call me. I'll babysit anytime. Kamaya is very, very soon due to be on the RebZone. She is getting so big and so cute. We need a Kamaya segment on the show soon. Chuck tells me she's a daddy's girl and she has his personality. Uh-oh. Love keeping up with your family, Chuck. Keep ballin' this season. All right, we're hanging out with the Runnin' Rebels. One funny guy to the next. Coming up next, we are getting to know who stretches on the Runnin' Rebels team. Any guesses? We've already sat down with him this offseason, but we're learning more about the Runnin' Rebels and all their nicknames and their favorite food. Hot debate with these Texas transfers. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
Whataburger for sure. Whataburger. 10 toes, 10 hands down, Whataburger.
Twice the price.
If you're really from the South, you know that the burgers are the go-to, or a patty melt. A patty melt is either one, or you go to I go with double meat Whataburger, number 2. Cheese, no onions, no tomatoes. Barbecue sauce if you're feeling freaky.
Meet Stretch, the 6'6" forward from Texas. You might know him as Donovan Williams, one of the goofy guys we sat down with earlier this offseason. But he tells us where his nickname Stretch comes from.
4th grade, I played Little League football. And, you know, when you play Little League football, everybody has kind of like a nickname or a go-to that the coach gives you. And, you know, I stood up and they were like, okay, tall, lanky, Stretch. It fits. And it kind of just stuck with me ever since through football, basketball. I don't know how it sticks, but everywhere I go, somebody seems to know it. But
Stretch didn't come to UNLV alone. His former teammate from Texas and partner in crime, Royce Ham Jr., are starting a new chapter together as Runnin' Rebels.
Like I said, I get homesick a lot, you know, not being around my family. Like I said, I've only ever lived in Texas, so I think having Royce here made that transition a lot easier. You know, when we first got here in June, it wasn't like, oh man, I don't know anybody. It was kind of like at first, you know, we could lean on each other when, you know, going around trying to find things to do, interacting with people, because it's kind of weird, you know, just when you've never lived somewhere before and now you're all on your own. Like I gotta call my mom like when I need something, or my dad when I need something about my car or whatever. So having somebody, and Royce isn't somebody I just met in college. Like he's a friend that I've had high school. Like I know his family, he knows mine. So I think having that and having someone to lean on, making that transition here was really, really important.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a familiar face from home on the team, but Williams says it was easy to choose UNLV because Coach Kruger and his staff just felt like family.
I think once you go through the portal again, you have to go through recruiting. When I talked to the staff here and I kind of saw what they were about, I think that was the biggest factor in making the decision to come to UNLV. I mean, I've always liked Las Vegas, you know, playing AAU, you come out here a lot every summer. So I kind of knew the city a little bit, but I think just the family aspect, like I was talking to someone and I said, like I get homesick a lot being so far away from home. I've only ever lived in Texas. So being out here now, like between the players, the staff, the community, everyone that's out here, it feels like a family aspect. So I think that was the biggest thing that drew me to Las Vegas, UNLV.
So one last thing, In-N-Out or Whataburger?
Whataburger for sure. Whataburger. 10 toes, 10 hands down, Whataburger.
Twice the price.
If you're really from the South, you know that the burgers are the go-to, or a patty melt. A patty melt is either one, or you go to I go with double meat Whataburger, number 2. Cheese, no onions, no tomatoes. Barbecue sauce if you're feeling freaky.
I'm starving. I'm really hungry now. I gotta grab some candy corn outside the studio or something. Hey, but now you know who stretches. And I have to say, In-N-Out is a little better, but whatever, it's okay. Those honey butter chicken biscuits from Whataburger, undefeated. Vegas needs a Whataburger, and now I'm all just talking about food on this show. I can't believe we're just 10 days away from the Runnin' Rebels season opener 10 days. Yeah, November is gonna be bonkers, y'all. UNLV opens up their 2021 season at home on November 10th against Gardner-Webb at 7 o'clock. The Runnin' Rebels are actually playing at home the entire month of November. Looking forward to seeing UNLV take on Michigan and UCLA in their non-conference schedule. Two teams who played in the tournament last year. The Runnin' Rebels will begin league play on January 1st against San Diego State, so it is foot on the gas. November is going to be one busy month for me. All right, I hope you guys had an awesome Halloween weekend. Shout out to the Fox 5 production crew, turning the RebZone all into a Halloween night. We'll be hitting the road this week with UNLV football, the Rebels getting ready to take on the Lobos. I've never been to New Mexico's campus before, so another first for me. And then basketball season is here, party people. Let's go. See you next Sunday on the RebZone.